Hello, everyone. Particularly, this is for mainly one person, but anyone else, I guess you can pay attention. Oh, look, I have a whale pack that um, you know what? Fine. Let's. I'll spend 12. Sure. You know what? Let's open this. Let's. We want the Arcanine. I know the Arcanine's gonna be. It's gonna be right there. Damn. Damn. Well, I never would have guessed that spot. That spot. Terrible. Never picked that spot. Anywho, I had recently a friend complain that they are having some trouble in Pokemon Pocket, which makes sense because let me tell you, it's card games are a game that's a bit like fighting games where like I don't know, it's if you do not bring the correct deck in, it's not a skill problem. It's similar to playing a game without a controller plugged in. That is really what it's about. So I'm gonna go over how to maybe construct some of the decks. So here's the deck I currently use. It's called Electric, and it's it has quite a few like I think it's like 11 Pokemon, and then the West, which is kind of a bad example for what I'm gonna say, but um oh well. So this deck has a couple of points. Here we have Pikachu. We have Pikachu EX, which is the main thing. You're just gonna be using Pikachu EX. And then Pikachu EX basically goes and says it's gonna do more damage when you have more benched electric Pokemon. So it does 90 basically if you have it all filled up with your bench. Which is why I have so many Pokemon heroes because I need it to fill out my bench. It normally does that. Normally this does very well at filling out the bench of having 3 to do 90 damage. And then I evolve them. And so and stuff, right? And then I have a few extra items like drawing cards, making sure we get a basic Pokemon like the Pokeballs, and then XP just to retreat. So the way that you want to construct a deck is you want to largely pick one Pokemon that is going to be your shining star, basically, right? You're going to be your key ace card, basically. In a deck like this is Pikachu. Pikachu becomes the center of my entire deck. It becomes what this becomes the card in the deck. I don't know why even Zapdos is at the front of it, but it's actually Pikachu EX. Pikachu EX is the card for it. The rest of these cards honestly don't matter for this deck. But they do support them. Like all like Blitzel, the Helioptile is largely here just to support Pikachu EX. And that's kind of the way that you want to think about it. You want to think of what Pokemon is going to be my ace, in this case Pikachu EX, and what do they need to succeed. Pikachu EX needs Pokemon on the bench, therefore I have them to help succeed. In other decks, I'm probably gonna flash cards. In other decks, you might have Mewtwo, and a Mewtwo deck is like, it's super strong. I like Mewtwo, but it has an attack that like requires to lose 2 energy, so I can't use it repeatedly or consecutively. Oh, there is Gardevoir that is able to basically attach another energy to it, so I can attach 2 a turn to Mewtwo and keep it going forever. And therefore, a Mewtwo deck might just have Mewtwo and then the Gardevoir line, and that is it. That is it. The Mewtwo is there to attack, the Gardevoir is there to support, and at that point, you probably have enough Pokemon to just be fine. Maybe sometimes you want to add a different Pokemon dependent on it. That's whatever, but like that's why there. That is the supporting Pokemon for it. And then like you don't want to fill up too many Pokemon. I think between 4 to 8 Pokemon is probably the spot you want most decks to fill in. It's gonna depend. This one has 11. I could maybe shorten it out. I just have nothing else better to put in these spots, so it's generally fine. Just because this one requires other cards, but there are other decks that literally only use like 4 Pokemon, and it works completely fine. And then after you fill a Pokemon, you want these trainer and item cards because these are the meat and juices of a lot of decks. Professor's Research, draw 2 cards, awesome. It's like Professor's Research and Pokeball is gonna be like the 2 cards you're gonna have in your deck every time. So 4 slots already taken up because you basically want those. I have X speed just so that if I don't have Pikachu immediately in my hand, I can put down Blitzel and then put energy on Pikachu and then use X speed to retreat Blitzel without having to take additional energy. That works for this deck. There's Giovanni that just does 10 extra damage. I find myself often needing like 10 more damage, so that's where it comes in. It's not that bad. And we have Sabrina. I only have one Sabrina. It just switches out your opponent's Pokemon from the bench. Whatever, like these just help with the deck. The other part I would say is like, what do all these Pokemon do? We have Blitzel. Blitzel evolves into Zebstrika. It takes 1 energy. It does 30 damage. This is supposed to snipe Pokemon that if they try to retreat, I can still take them out. Zapdos is heal. It can technically do 200 damage. It's just hanging around. Sometimes it would do that. And then we have Helioptile and like Heliolisk. And these are kind of like my Pikachu minis. If I don't have a Pikachu, I'm using Heliolisk, right? And this is the style of decks you're going to use all the time. And there are going to be other cards as well. There are going to be cards like, you're going to have like, I'm gonna go down the list of some of the combos I think you can do with cards besides Pikachu. You have Pikachu, then you can also do Mewtwo. Mewtwo and Gardevoir works the same way, right? We have this Mewtwo, does 150 damage. We have this Gardevoir. Sure, it works, right? Gardevoir takes an energy to Mewtwo. That sort of works. This is already in the Mewtwo pack that you're already opening, so that's fine. The other decks might be, for example, a Waddle Pokemon, and then with Misty. Misty, you flip a coin and until you get tails, and for every heads you get an additional Waddle energy you can put on a Pokemon. So Lapras requires 3. Articuno requires 3. You can just chunk them onto these Pokemon extremely quickly. Turn 1, you can just do 80 damage if you really wanted to. It's super powerful. It's completely luck based, but Misty plus basically any Water Pokemon, that's a combo right there. That like that's all it is. And this is mostly through the Pikachu deck. So go ahead. Some other cards would be Moltres. Moltres and pretty much any fire Pokemon will do the job, because Moltres allows you to use a Moltres. It allows you to like put additional fire energy onto the fire Pokemon. And there's a lot of fire Pokemon. There's like Arcanine that costs 3. There's like Centiskorch that costs 4. Charizard I think costs like 3 or 4. And they have to ditch a lot of their energy too. So Moltres plus like any fire Pokemon, particularly if they're an EX, would do good. That is a combo you can do. And then Pikachu EX. Pikachu EX and any electric Pokemon, that's a combo right there. It doesn't really need to be specific electric Pokemon. And the ones that I had, like Zebstrika and Heliolisk, these are ones that are found in every single pack. You should have enough of these. Like I have tons of these things. 13, I have 6. You're gonna get a lot of those probably. So by the time you get 2 Pikachu EXs, you should have a bunch of these other ones. You can use Zapdos. Not needed. There's tons of other electric Pokemon. You can put in Tynamo if you want. I don't know. You can put in Pinchoin. They don't really matter too much, but it goes. I think this is probably one of the easier decks. You just need 2 EXs and it's fine. Mewtwo, you need like 2 Mewtwo's and then you need the entire Waltz line. And, other ones you might need like Misty and then 2 Water Pokemon EXs. Pikachu just needs Pikachu. There's not other support cards that really benefits it. It's just Pikachu. But that's the general style. You generally pick a Pokemon. In the cases of this, it was Pikachu and Mewtwo that are very strong Pokemon by themselves, or cards like Misty and Moltres that are like the main support cards, which support cards like Centiskorch or Articuno that then just decide to wipe the entire game with it. And that's it. If you have 2 Moltreses and 2 Centiskorch, that's the amount of Pokemon you want in a deck right there. Nothing more. The rest are going to be filled with like additional cards. What additional cards here in the shop? Because you told me this is how you buy the additional cards. You buy Professor Oak right here. It costs like a bunch, all 2 tickets, kind of cheap. Wed card, Pokeball, Pokédex, Handscope, X-Speed, Potion. Professor's Research, it draws 2 cards. You want 2 of these in every deck. Pokeball, you get a basic Pokemon in your hands. You want this in pretty much every deck as well. I don't think there's really any reason, unless you can, you'd have to find a reason not to include those 2 cards. These other ones kind of don't matter. Those Potion just heals 20. It's fine. kind of a weaker card, but whatever. X-Speed I like in Pikachu because they all have one retreat cost. There's some other ones that may not work that well, but it can have a point. Hand Scope, I like maybe that's a bit iffy. Probably not. It's kind of situational. Not pretty good. Pokedex, look at the top three cards of your deck. Not really important. Wed card is actually kind of interesting. Your opponent shuffles their hand into the deck and draws 3 cards. This can be pretty useful. If there's not that many cards that allow you to draw from the deck specifically, however. So in the future, I can see this being pretty good. Right now, maybe not. But like these are all cards that you can just add into it. The other cards I would mention is Sabrina and like places like Sabrina and then Giovanni. And again, like you just sort of collect those lists, fill in the deck with the additional Pokemon, and you all good. You all good. Ideally, at doing this time, I've been showing some complete decks that you can just copy from other people. I basically just have this Pikachu deck, so it's like, oops. But it's all possible. That is all possible to do. It all works. There are additional trainer cards you can add. There's Lieutenant Soldier that helps with like White Shoe, Electrode, Electabuzz. Don't use. There is it's not showing. I don't know. But there are like other cards you can find situational. They're not that important. Like, oh, here's a Dragonite deck if you want. Other cards, there's a Weezing. Any EX or like Dragonite, Weezing, all can be probably a deck. Like you just kind of just need to pick like a Pokemon like it's fully evolved, and you can be like, yeah, like they're all mostly pretty good. Marowak EX. If you have a Marowak EX, this can just be your because you already have one. This could just be your deck right here. This is having two Marowak EXs and whatever, right? So and once you do that, then you'll actually start to be able to actually play the game. Before that, you are not playing the game. Like you have an unplugged control. And so if you don't create correctly, yeah, you're gonna get like demolished. But it's not really like a game or skill problem. It's just you just don't you're just not playing the game almost in a way, right? So hopefully that clears out some of that. I'm gonna open a pack here. We'll open a pack. We'll just gamble real quick. Let's see what we'll get. This recording is 2 gigs. I hate recording on my Mac. Oh my god. Anyways, let's open this up. Ooh, let's see. Dodrio, okay. Ghastly, like Ghastly. Coffin, okay. Kuna, okay. Sucks. Golduck, okay. Okay, it sucks. Okay, well, you know what? That time didn't work out that well, but maybe next time. Hopefully, this can help you. If you need more help, I don't know. You can message me, I guess. I don't know. Good luck.